If this is your first time on this channel, please subscribe, like, and share. I'll be taking you through the history of the Ogoni people of Nigeria in today's video. I'm Peter Tamna Amabari Nwiganali. The Ogoni of Nigeria. Overview of the culture. The people. The Ogoni are a minority ethnic group that resides in southern Nigeria, western Niger Delta. Ogoniland, also known as the Ogoni Nation, was integrated into Nigeria's Rivers State in the 1970s. There are about 500,000 Ogoni, or less than 0.05% of Nigeria's 100 to 120 million inhabitants. One of the most densely populated locations in Nigeria, this region has 1,233 persons per square mile. There isn't much reliable information available concerning the Ogoni'S ancestry. According to archaeological and oral historical data, the Ogoni have lived in the region for at least 500 years. There are now two competing theories on this people's ancestry. First, somewhere during the 18th and 19th centuries, the Ogoni may have migrated into their current region from the other side of the Imo River. Two Ogoni settlements, Warif and Utitak, which are still present on the other side of the river, are the only survivors of this exodus. While Utitak has assimilated the traditions and language of the Anang, a nearby tribe in the Akwa Ibom state, Warif continues to speak Kana. The Ogoni did not discover this area to be inhabited when they came. As a result, they were able to conceal their identity from their neighbors, the Andoni and Ijaws to the south, the Ibibios to the southeast, the Igbos to the north, and the Akwas to the west. This hypothesis states that the Kana kingdom was the first Ogoni settlement, followed by Tai, Gokana, and Elam. From these initial settlements, the Ogoni nation developed. According to the second hypothesis, trading ships that frequently stopped at Boni, a little city-state island in the delta, brought the Ogoni people there. They started settling in Boni, but eventually the small town could no longer accommodate them all. This made it necessary for them to move further inland. The local Ibani inhabitants of Boni referred to the newcomers as Igoni or strangers once they landed there. In due course, the Ibani became referred to as Ogoni. People today in Boni refer to the Ogoni and the Ibani as brothers. The possibility exists that OGONI'S residency on this island in the delta shielded them from capture during the slave raids that decimated the mainland. The European colonial powers split up Africa among themselves after the Berlin Treaty was signed in 1885. Nigerian tribal leaders were under pressure to sign treaties with the British. Due to the Great Monarch Jaja of Opobo's pre-colonization restriction on European penetration for trade in the southernmost point of the Delta region, the Ogoni were possibly the final tribe to come into touch with the Europeans. The Ogoni chiefs first objected to signing treaties with the English colonial government of Nigeria. According to British colonial archives, the Ogoni opposed colonization vehemently up to the early 1900s. The Ogoni nation's problems may have been caused in part by their resistance to colonization, which has plagued them ever since. Other Nigerian native communities in the area did not offer the English much resistance to colonization. Tribal chiefs from the Hausa and Fulani tribes in northern Nigeria, the Yoruba tribe in the southwest, and the Igbo tribe in the southeast forged treaty ties with the English during the late 1880s. The English therefore made it easier for these tribal regions to prosper economically. Buildings for schools and trading networks were established. In the Hausa city of Kaduna, for instance, the Nigerian Military Academy, now a military university, was constructed during this period, while in the Yoruba city of Ibadan, Nigeria's first university and medical school was founded. However, because the Ogoni people had resisted colonization, the English offered little help to them. Only 3 major tribal populations were usually recognized by the English during the colonial era: the Hausa Fulani, Yoruba, and Igbo. In Nigeria, more than 250 other tribes were mainly disregarded. The English split Nigeria into 3 major arbitrary divisions, North, West, and East, when they started to leave the country. One of the 3 main tribes controlled each area. Once one of these 3 dominating groups took control of Nigeria, the remaining 250 tribes were further marginalized and given minority status. The Ogoni people are divided up into kingdoms, which are conventional political structures. There are 3 distinct but related divisions made up of 6 kingdoms. First, OGONI'S eastern and northernmost regions are where the Kana division is located. There are 4 distinct kingdoms inside it: Bab, Ken Kana, Nyo Kana, and Tai. Each kingdom has its own territory and uses its own dialect of the Kana language. Second, the inhabitants of the Gokana division and kingdom speak Gokana, a language that is related to Kana but distinct from it. It is located in the south-central region of Ogoniland. Third, in the western part of Ogoniland, lies the Elam division and kingdom. Even though Elam and Kana and Gokana are closely related, Elam is a unique language. The Ogoni nation now has approximately 124 villages and towns, each with a chief in charge. Ogoni'S capital is the village of Bori. Bodo, Dir, and Bomu in Gokana, Nonwa in Tai, Enchia in Elam, Bain, Ewa, Bain, Kwawakono, and Kapin in southern Kana, and Tabang, Okwali, and Biri in northern Kana are further significant towns. The setting. The Imo River forms the northern and eastern boundaries of Ogoniland, while the Andoni people's coastal sand plains and the Aba-Port Harcourt motorway form the southern and western boundaries. The Delta region is home to a variety of habitat types, such as barrier island habitats, coastal sand plains, deltaic and floodplains, and mangrove forests. There are currently 404 square miles in Ogoniland. Nigeria's southern coastal region experiences a hot and humid environment. Between 77.0 degrees Fahrenheit in August and 81.0 degrees Fahrenheit in March and April, the region around Port Harcourt experiences its average temperatures. A total of 93 inches of rainfall in this area each year, with July and August seeing the most precipitation. Traditional subsistence strategies. Before the oil drilling in the late 1950s and early 1960s, Ogoniland had a lot of fertile soil, and the river's State Delta Plateau was referred to as the breadbasket of the area. The Ogoni have historically been able to prosper as subsistence farmers thanks to the unusual fertility. The rivers that empty into the Gulf of Guinea give an abundance of fish and other seafood, and fertile plateau soil has fostered agricultural endeavors. Yam and cassava, manioc, production has dominated the agricultural sector. People traveled from all over the area to purchase Ogoni-produced and processed food when it was at its peak of agricultural productivity. In order to increase their harvest and increase their market share, Ogoni fishermen frequently collaborate in small groups. However, the sale of agricultural goods is a family's primary source of revenue in Ogoni. Gari, a product made from cassava, and palm oil, a product made from palm fruits, both bring in considerable profits for them. Additionally, they trade in ceramics, coconuts, and palm wine, which are produced from the sap of specific palm trees. In search of high-quality palm trees for tapping, Ogoni palm wine tappers are known to travel great distances, sometimes all the way to Lagos and Ijebu-Ode in Yoruba territory. Thank you for your time. If you would like to support and promote the Ogoni history, please subscribe, like, and share this video. Thank you.